children will come into the workplace knowing that the job they start off doing is really likely to change. I think brand new jobs are going to continue to pop up all the time. If you read the latest LinkedIn report on this topic, they're citing 15 roles that are growing the quickest at the moment. And we're hiring for all of them. Take something on that list like AI. That's going to grow at like 74% in the next year. As quick as 2 years, we will be talking about hiring for jobs I didn't even know existed today. And if you believe the estimates that sort of say 6 out of 10 primary school children will do a job that doesn't even exist today, it's thinking about how do you prepare your workforce for all of this inevitable change. Automation will definitely change the workforce. I think the number of jobs might not change, but the nature of those roles, I think, will fundamentally change. In addition, you think about roles that exist in our warehouse environment. These should become more interesting, have more varied work, and have more problem solving connected than perhaps it does today. The pace of change is just getting faster and faster, and organisations need to build the skills to be resilient for the challenges we know exist today, but also for those challenges that we just can't even yet comprehend. If you think about the World Economic Forum already predicting that 42% of jobs within the next 2 years will need upskilling or reskilling, the challenge for organisations is huge. And actually really interesting place to be in the online grocery delivery space, because you think about 3 of our primary skill sets. So firstly, technology, jobs that are in high demand and everybody wants them, right? Engineering skills, where there is a global workforce shortage of really good engineers. And then of course you even think about key workers and the role that for our frontline has played, certainly through the pandemic. Everybody is moving their business online. And so the same skill set in delivery is needed by everybody. Organisations who need to attract the top talent will think about actually how much of this work can we automate, but how do we create an amazing culture where we can't automate it? And if I think about the education sector, really how they can help in terms of rebalancing the skill of not only the what of learning, but the how of learning. So skills like creativity, critical thinking, empathy, and creating a base of a growth mindset that children will come into the workplace knowing that the job they start off doing is really likely to change. I think also the role of leadership will continue to change. One of the things you often hear about a good leader is that they need to be digitally savvy. But this doesn't mean being able to turn on a computer or work an iPhone. It's really about the ability to balance the leading of humans and robots in symmetry. And the role of the manager will become much more focused on creating a personal human experience for the people that work for them. I think the responsibility of reskilling the workforce will be a combination actually of the employee, the employer, and I do think we need to see a fundamental change in the education system as well. Employees need to be responsible for keeping their own skills relevant, and all of us should expect to be lifelong learners. Those employees that refresh their skills regularly will be those that thrive and survive in the future workplace. Employers, though, have to play a role in creating that environment of learning and the right culture in which people can get new skills. In time, I think organisations will feel a social responsibility where they're seeing large-scale changes in jobs to be able to invest in reskilling the workforce. And I think a lot of practical advantages if you can get that right, because you will then have a ready-made labour pool for what's coming. For the education system, I think we will see digital literacy becoming a standard for the next generation. However, it has to be combined with the human skills that actually a robot can't replace. If you think today the generation growing up will be the YouTube generation, they're used to their communication and their content and their learning being delivered in bite-sized chunks. And this will be how we use technology to drive things like performance improvement. COVID has definitely accelerated all things. In many ways, I think the future is now. It's already here. COVID really demonstrated that organisations who were able to pivot quickly and change were the winners. Through the pandemic, I think what you've seen is more distributed workforces. Now you can expect some people are in an office, some people are at home, and some people are in an entirely different country as well. If you want to find ways for this to work, you have to be able to find ways that can think about the social capital that you created and the creativity that you created in a 9-to-5 office environment. In a real future state, we should be able to attract talent regardless of where they are in the world. And you think about those really tough skill sets of both tech and engineering. This will be one of the big differentiators that we start to see in the way that we create a culture in a distributed world. In a future state, both the employee and the employer will want more of an agile workforce. So I think employees will want to lean in and lean out as it makes sense for them and the life that they want to lead, and sign up maybe just for specific projects. From an employer's standpoint, this is equally desirable because we can get the right skills at the right time. But it then starts to change the nature of the workforce, and therefore the kind of culture we create to manage in this, maybe this hybrid world, will be really important to make sure that we can attract the best talent. We're already seeing a radical shift in how society are thinking about the challenge, and it's no surprise at all that it's coming into the workforce, because it's really challenging the way that employees play a role in this. At the moment, there is an expectation that employers make the workplace fair, that we do all the things that mean everybody can be treated in a fair way. The shift that is coming is whether employers need to play an active role in the change that society wants to see, in terms of not only embracing people of all diversity, ensuring that there's an inclusive environment, and then finding ways amongst all of that to treat people as individual humans. That will be the balancing act. So we will need to create a culture of belonging and connection, and really being able to enable employees to thrive and do their best work. Organisations will need to support the whole self, not just the bit that comes to work. Different humans definitely need different things without being boxed into some of those stereotyped categories. Definitely. We're already starting to see those plates shift. There is a demand for a different approach. And as we make that shift from what might be termed today the industrial revolution to the sustainable revolution, how the employer plays a role in that will definitely be a key part of it. The motives of employers will be questioned quite deeply in terms of, are they just here to make commercial decisions, or are they doing the right things around humans and the climate and the environment as well? And I think those two things will have to be balanced. For employees, they're bringing their whole selves to work even more so than ever before, but seeking to find that balance that means they can live their lives now, knowing that they will work much later in their years. And that will probably require different working patterns, maybe more career sabbaticals. Some companies are already trialling things like the 4-day working week, which I think could be a huge impact on society generally. Making sure for us that we have the right culture and the right environmental agenda will be critical for the future.